Hello and welcome to Talking Good Games. Just finished West Ham United 1, Sheff United 1, and we're here to go through all the highlights and give you our opinion. Gonzo, the first half, there wasn't much for West Ham until the very end of the half when Snodgrass scored. Two good chances for Sheff United though. Roberto made a good save though in the half-hour mark from McGoldrick. Corner come in, head down to McGoldrick, little flick. Should they have been 1-0 up?
Well, yeah, the guy should have finished better. That being said, he did have his back to goal, didn't he? So it was a flick. Had he been facing the goal, I'm sure he would have scored. So, I think it's easy to say they should have scored, but it's actually quite hard to generate any power when your back's towards goal and you're trying to flick it with the sort of outside. He did get something on it. He did direct it towards goal, and Roberto got down very, very quickly. But he got to the ground really quick, actually. Made a block. It ricocheted off, and when the shot came back in, that's, I think, when they probably could have done a lot better, because that guy was facing the goal and he shot it straight at Sebastian Haller, who blocked it, but Haller didn't know anything about the block, of course. He was just, as I say, the guy shot against him.
Then on the 40th minute, Sheffield United fans thought they had a goal when the ball come in from the side. Callum Robinson went to diving head into the net, but Roberto got a fingertip to it and just to guide away from his head. But just before half time, Gonzo made it 1-0. But before we talk about the goal, what did you make of the half before we scored?
Well, I thought the best chances fell to Sheffield United, and I was thinking, crikey, I've got a struggle on my hands here to try and, do this review, and you're going to ask for a man in the match from West Ham's point of view. Thought I'm struggling a little bit here. I mentioned last week that we struggled to test the opposition keeper. I thought that was clearly the case. Whilst I didn't think they were overly threatening, I just thought they had edged it. Didn't think I thought we were painfully slow as well up to that point, which is so many slow players on the pitch. And I wasn't particularly hopeful. It was quite a boring game at that point.
Well, we had 70% of possession up to that point, so we were sort of in control of the game. But were we? Because you could argue actually Sheff United were just in control by letting us have the ball, in the fact that Dean Henderson hadn't had to make a save, so you could argue they were also in control. But we're seeing plenty of it knocking it about. There was a couple of times where I thought the build-up play was quite good, but we seemed to get to the final third and just stop, not really do much from that point on. And there was a few occasions you got to the final third and we had to turn and knock the ball back, and it would just continue again. We had 70% of the ball, but they had two chances. We had none until Robert Snodgrass scored. Roberto with a long kick, Yarmolenko with a little touch, and then put Snodgrass through. Calm, composed finish though by Snodgrass. 1-0 West Ham, Gonzo.
Yeah, I totally agree. Up to that point, it was all foreplay and no penetration, if you pardon the expression. But what I liked about the goal, that we scored the goal, was something I thought might happen this season, and that was Haller attracted two people towards him, and because of that, it allowed the space which Snodgrass would eventually run into. The defender's header was quite a weak header, but if you watch the goal back again, the other guy he's just drifting towards Haller, and that's what you get when you get a big, strong striker. You give the centre halves something to think about. Yarmolenko took it down really well, and he had the vision to look up and to play the pass, as I say, because the space had been vacated by the centre half. Snodgrass had a lovely bit of space to run into. Yarmolenko played him in, and he slotted it neatly with his left foot low past the keeper, gave him no chance, and justified his inclusion in the starting lineup.
Very pleased to Roberto with that long kick down the pitch for Yarmolenko, because I'm not a fan of his distribution, and actually apart from that one occasion I'm still not really a fan of his distribution, but that long kick was on the money. Yarmolenko, what a touch. There's a few players who would try that, not just at West Ham, just in general. It wouldn't work. 8 times out of 10 it wouldn't work. It wouldn't go exactly where you want it. Yarmolenko just guided it beautifully. What a lovely little touch. And Snodgrass he was just composed, which is what we were lacking for a couple of weeks, and I think actually we were lacking in the second half, but we'll get away to come on to that. At half time it was 1-0 West Ham, but in the 52nd minute, that's when Sheffield United gave us a bit of a warning sign. Baldock had a shot, Roberto got something to it, but Aaron Creswell then saved it on the line. In the 56th minute, though, Felipe Anderson had the chance. Gonzo, we broke again. He gave it to Yarmolenko, who gave it back to Felipe Anderson, and arguably put him 1-on-1, although he was sort of running away from goal, 8-10 yards out. Had a shot, good save by Henderson.
Yeah, there was actually a move just before that as well where he should have played in Snodgrass and he played in Haller. I didn't actually play him in, he played it to his feet rather than 5 yards in front of him, which is what he wanted to give him something to run into, and it just killed the momentum of the play. In that instance that you're talking about, I sort of wanted him to shoot. I was sort of pleased because he had just almost created a chance just before. He had got in a position there, had been involved in a build-up, and I felt he was coming into the game, but it just wasn't. It wasn't any. There was a lack of decision from him, a lack of incision, maybe is a better word. And I thought when he got to that point where he did shoot, I wanted him to shoot, but actually Haller was in a wonderful position for him to square it. And if he is lacking confidence, then just knock it there, knock it sideways, have the vision. Haller knocks it in. But yeah, I thought he had a little 5 minutes there, Anderson, where if he'd have just had a little bit more about him, he actually could have won the game quite easily in that 5 minutes. He could have been either scored or been responsible for 2 goals, but he didn't. He fluffed his lines, quite frankly.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about Anderson because he went off 9 minutes after that. It's a strange one because I actually thought he played well until the 18-yard box, and then that's when he didn't play well. I thought he was. I think he had the shackles off a little bit in the first half. He was in the middle, he was on the left, he was on the right. He was popping up everywhere. At one point, him and Yarmolenko were on the right, and Anderson had the ball. He wanted to cross it, there was no one to cross to, and you could see him going, where is everyone? I thought, well, you're looking for yourself, really, because you're the left winger that's not in the box, because you're in Yarmolenko's space here. But those 2 opportunities, I thought he played really well, but those 2 opportunities is why you pay big money to get an attacking midfielder. You get him in to create chances, you get him in to score chances. He had one of each, and he failed to do both. So he had an opportunity to win the game for us. He didn't take it. But apart from away from the 18-yarder, I thought the rest of his play was good. I thought he was getting back, he was getting forward. I don't think he should have been subbed off, actually. I think Pellegrini makes the wrong substitution. It's not for the first time. I don't even think it's the last time in the game that he makes the wrong substitution. Felipe Anderson shouldn't have come off for me. He was looking dangerous. Sheff Utd were coming at us. They had to score, so we were getting opportunities to break, and that's when you see the best of Anderson, when he's got that green space to run into. It wasn't there in the first half because Sheff Utd were on the edge of their 18-yarder going, what are you going to do? And he was good up until he got to that defensive line, then he struggled. Second half, I mean, the fact that he missed that chance and the when he should have passed it, that's exactly why you leave him on, though, because he's getting in the right places. That shot, the keeper saved it. It might have given him a little lift. He might have thought, right, okay, I did all right here. Next time I'm going to have to do a little bit better. But then you sub him off, and that's not going to help him for the Newcastle game, is it, when you take him off from there? So it's a strange one, Anderson. Good game, but when it comes to the money maker shot, bad game. It's a strange one for me. Then the 68th minute, though, Gonzo was 1-1. 3 minutes after that substitution, funny enough, Sheff Utd had a little break, cross comes out, headed down to Moussett. Superb finish, actually. I think it's a really underrated finish. But 1-1, what's your thoughts on the goal?
Yeah, I never like a finish. It was precise in as much as it was tucked right inside the post, but he's hit it down and onto the ground. I don't think he meant to do it. I think he meant in that general direction, but it's the fact that he kicked it against the ground first makes you think he didn't intend to do it. I'm not just saying that because it scored against us. I always say that with anyone. The attack, it could have been stopped. Really, let's be fair. I know every attack can be stopped. Came from their right, our left back position. I thought Diop could have headed the ball more powerfully than he did when he headed it out. I thought it was quite a weak header. Noble didn't contest the second ball, and that's when it fell to the guy who dispatched it accurately. And Roberto, got nowhere near it because it was so tight inside the post. But yeah, I mean, it could have been cut out at 3 separate occasions there, and it was not a killer blow because it was a draw in the end. But I thought the substitution that you just alluded to just before that was a substitution to get a 1-0 win. because Anderson, as you rightly say, was attacking. He was getting into those positions as well. And what he did by substituting him for Lanzini was then put Snodgrass on the left to sort of shore the left side up, and then put Lanzini in the middle. And whilst Lanzini is a creative player, if you were to look at a heat map or look at any part of the game after that, you'll see Lanzini was in far deeper positions than Felipe Anderson was. It wasn't a case of Sheffield United need to go and we're going to attack the space, so I'm going to have Lanzini and Anderson on. So I thought that was quite a defensive substitution at the time. Clearly it didn't work, and then 1-1, as we've just discussed, and we find ourselves in a position we didn't want to be in and didn't expect to be in.
The goal, I thought Moussett's body movement was fantastic, though. The way he has to turn his whole body, essentially. He's facing the wrong way. He gets it across the keeper. He doesn't make the cleanest of contact, but I think it's a really, really good goal by him. I think it was a deserved goal for Sheffield United as well. While they didn't have much of the ball, when they did get it, they were effective, and they came out in the second half, and they had us on the back foot for the majority of it, and they let us counter-attack, and this is what's frustrating me. It was set up for what we've seen West Ham do well this season, which is against Norwich, against Man United. We've been able to counter-attack, and that's when we look good. So Sheffield United were coming at us, it was playing into our hands, and he took off the only bit of pace we had. And then, bless Snodgrass, because I thought we'll get on to individual performances, but then he goes and puts the slow guy out as the attacking midfielder. Like you said, Lanzini comes deeper, and it's almost like he's done a little rotation where Snodgrass goes into Anderson's role, Lanzini goes into Snodgrass's role. Fair enough, but he just completely removed all aspect of pace that we had. So then counter-attacking's non-existent, and that's what we're trying to play. And it's just, that sub has just really frustrated me, that one. I don't know why he's done it. Is he panicking? I don't know. It's not the right substitution to make. If you want to hang on to a 1-0 lead as well, though, you don't bring on Lanzini, with the greatest of respect to him, when you've got Sanchez there. You've got a defensive midfielder there. Why would you not bring on a defensive midfielder? Even if you took Noble off and said, right, I'm not going to have two defensive midfielders, it's going to let Anderson go forward a bit more now, and I'm going to have a really solid shield in front of that back four. But he didn't do that. That sub, I didn't understand at the time. And then when it was 1-1, I still didn't understand it. And now at full time, I understand it even less. There was two substitutions for West Ham. Noble went off for Fanaz, and Ayeti came on for Snodgrass. Finished 1-1. What was your thoughts on the result and performance, Gonzo? And we'll get into individual players in a minute.
Okay, so I thought, well, we've discussed the first half, and clearly I thought they were the better team in the first half. The second half was interesting because clearly there'd been a rousing team talk, and which I wouldn't expect anything less, because I think that, as I said in the preview, their manager's a good man manager. So they came out fired up. Not only did they come out fired up, they came out with more width. And I think if you go back and watch the first 10 minutes of that second half, they were really having a good old go at us. And I thought it'd be interesting to see how we reacted. It was actually their goal, that forced a reaction from us, and the irony is, after their goal, I thought we perhaps played at our best. That's when we created, some really good chances. There was that lovely ball from Yarmolenko, which was then played over to Cresswell, made a lovely run. Fornals had been involved. He obviously, when he came on, he played it to Yarmolenko, tried to hit it with the outside of his left boot, missed it. Came to Snodgrass. Snodgrass hit the post as well. Yarmolenko had a very, very long shot, and we were involved. We were in on it, and we were attacking them. And for the first time in quite a few games, like, hold on, we're attacking a team here. We're having shots on goal. We're having attempts, and it felt like we were playing, which was good, but also frustrating, because I'm thinking, well, where has this been? Where has this team been for the last few games? And it was a shame that it took us to go level, them to go level, for it to be a draw, for him to suddenly allow the team to get adventurous, or for the team to become adventurous. And I thought at that point we did it, and when we did that, it actually showed Sheffield United up as a bit of a myth, I've got to say. A lot of people have talked about them and spoken a lot of... they've received a lot of plaudits, and a lot of people have said a lot of nice things about them. And actually, but I thought when we went at them, they looked at what they were, and that was a team of limited technical ability, and a team that fouled a lot. And they did have some bully boys. I don't know, that number 10, didn't at least get a yellow card. I mean, some cynical fouls, some naughtiness. And I thought when we attacked them, we drew that out. I don't know why we allowed them to play for as long as we did. And Yeah, it's so frustrating, really, because I think we should have come away with a lot more than a point. Even though I think Sheffield United, for large parts of that, were in control of the game. I do think they were in control of the game despite the possession. But I just wonder how much of that is us allowing them to do that. Because actually, when we put our foot on their throat, so to speak, we looked pretty good. We looked like creating chances. And if that game had gone on another 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it only would have been one winner, and that was us. So I think we just reacted to it all far too late.
Yeah, it's a strange one, because I think we've actually played better than okay, but not good, if that makes sense. Somewhere in the middle. We've done all right. We've some aspects of our game we've played well, but other aspects, actually, it's anything outside the 18-yarder, their 18-yarder, I thought we've done okay. But when it comes to creating chances, taking chances, it was an easy enough game. If you were a Sheff United centre back today, one of the three, you've gone off there thinking that was all right. Didn't really get tested much. 45 million striker, barely had the ball. They barely gave it to him. You know, Yarmolenko, how often? Now, me and Gonzo weren't at the game today, obviously, for those watching live know that. But if you're watching back, I haven't suddenly just teleported to Aberdeen and done this. But Tony Gale was the co-commentator, and every time West Ham went forward, he just stood this. He just sat there repeating the same thing, because the same thing kept happening. He's showing Yarmolenko onto his right foot. Here's Yarmolenko trying to get into his left foot. He's just not letting him do it. And it was that simple to defend against our attack. Just don't let Yarmolenko cut in, and then you'll ease him down the line. It worked. Alea barely got the ball. We were just a bit. We made 5 changes. Yeah, our attack was still so predictable. I mean, I don't know. It's just frustrating. There was an opportunity there to get 3 points today. I consider this game as 2 points dropped, because Sheff United were organised. They worked hard. But that's it. They weren't doing flicks or tricks. There was nothing. You know, both our centre backs got booked somehow, but that's because of rash challenges. They weren't pressuring our defence. Apart from between the half time and their goal, we were relatively comfortable for the rest of the game. And it's Pellegrini's substitutions. I'm telling you, that's what it is. There was an opportunity there for him to go for it, and the Anderson ones just killed us. It killed our pace. It's just that sub has really pissed me off, as you can probably tell. The Fornals one, when he came on, I thought, well, what's he going to do? Nothing was the answer. He didn't really do much. He got nudged off the ball too easily, and it's not his fault. It was just the wrong situation to bring him on. Yeah, he should have come on second and got him up front alongside Alea. It's 2 points dropped. It's another. It's just, when we did the preview, we said if we lose, it's bad for Pellegrini. Win, fine. Can go into Newcastle, draw, and it's going to be a bit meh. Everything just moves on to Newcastle. Everything's just delayed by a week, and that's what's happening after this one. I don't feel any better than I did before the game. We got the point, that's okay, but the performance was better than Everton, but it would have been difficult to be worse. So it's just a bit meh. However, there were some individual performances that I'm pleased with today. Last week there was 0. This week there's a handful. There's a good few. Pick your pick. Individual players, praise, criticise. On you go.
Yeah, there's 4 players. I just want to go on Fornals just before you say that. I think he did have a little bit of an impact, because he almost created a goal for Yarmolenko, and I thought he drove him from the right there. I know particularly the bit you mean, where he was pushed off the ball, and it was when the ball might or might not have gone out for a throw-in. And he just seemed to be sort of biding time to get, yeah, all right. And it was just so easy. He didn't ever try and keep the ball in. The defender just gave him a shoulder barge, and that was that. The thing that probably annoyed me most about Fornals was at the end, where he was appealing for the handball. He should have just gone. A confident technical player just goes for the volley, and all that nonsense about taking it down, and that doesn't even happen. But I did think he almost created a goal, and he certainly will be credited with a key pass for that. Talking about key passes, I don't think Sheffield United's marshalled Yarmolenko completely out of the game at all. I thought he got clearly he got an assist. I thought he almost set Felipe Anderson up for an assist. He almost set Cresswell up for an assist, and it wasn't Yarmolenko's fault. It was Anderson's fault, then Cresswell's fault, if you like. No, I don't want to criticise Cresswell. Did well to run into the position. He also set Sebastian Haller up, albeit it turned out to be offside, and also he had a really good shot himself. I mean, he, on another day, I'm not saying he gets 5 goals in, because when do he score 5 goals? But I do think despite their best efforts, he was involved on at least 5 key occasions and was one of our better players today. And got to praise Roberto, really. I said one of them he didn't know anything about. The reaction save down low, he certainly did know all about it. And well, you know what? I can't fault him for that goal at all. So, you know, well done to him. I think we all thought he was going to be throwing the ball into the back of the net, and we all feared the worst when Fabianski got injured. And clearly he's nowhere near as good as Fabianski, but I don't think he's quite the calamity Jane that a lot of us first feared. Declan Rice, I thought was... Declan Rice seems to have the ump. Declan Rice got to a point in that second half and he thought, I've had enough here. I'm going to drive this team forward. There's one point he dribbled past a couple of geezers, tried to have a shot. He had another shot as well. He was there was some really nice defensive work, some good blocks. He outpaced someone at one point to retrieve the ball. I just felt he was frustrated, and sometimes with players with big personalities, we often talk on this channel when people ask on the questions, and I talk about Roy Keane quite a lot, not because Roy Keane was... Everyone in that Man U team was technically better than Roy Keane, but he had a will to win, he had a drive. And I saw that from Declan Rice today. Declan Rice tried to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and drive the team forward, which I was really, really pleased to see.
And he tried to stop Baldock getting booked as well, which is rare. I've never seen that before. You know, he said him and Baldock shook hands. He said to the referee, hang on a minute, there's no need for this. No need to card him and stuff. That's rare. I like that about his character, if you like. I like that. That'll do him good for not just West Ham, but a lot of people. To be fair, it's not going to be a match idea. That Sheff United fans will think, actually, fair play to Declan Rice for that, because they're the only ones going to see it.
Sorry, Snodgrass as well. Snodgrass justified his inclusion. Sorry.
Yeah. Zabaleta was a funny one. Didn't do much wrong, but didn't offer very much either. And that's something I didn't understand it before when the team came out. I thought, why have we done that? And I still don't understand it now, because today's a day we could have done with Fredericks running down that side. And I thought they marshalled Yarmolenko quite well. You make good points. He should have had at least another assist on top of that, and it's not really his fault. But I just felt he was restricted. Fredericks allows the game to open up for Yarmolenko by coming down that side, and it's almost like, well, you can't marshal Yarmolenko into that area because all he's going to do is pass it to Fredericks, and all of a sudden you've got the right back ready to cross it. And I just felt we missed a little sprinkle of something from Zabaleta out there, although he didn't play badly. I thought Balbuena played really well, actually. There was a couple of times when he did his long passes. I thought, right, this is why he's in the team. He's quicker, his distribution's better than Diop's and Obona's. It just is better, his passing. I thought this is maybe why he's in there. I thought he played okay. Creswell, Diop did alright. Rice did really, really well, as you mentioned. I thought Noble did okay. Yarmolenko did okay. Anderson did okay. Snodgrass I'll come on to in a minute. Allaire, I was disappointed with. He's the only one in that starting 11 I was disappointed with. Now, part of it's down to poor service, okay? But I do sometimes think you need to see a bit more. Sometimes a striker just has to be the one that creates a chance for himself almost. And I don't know, it's almost like the life's been sucked out of him by lack of service in the previous weeks. He's now probably started the game thinking, well, here we go, same old, I've got even less creative players playing behind me today, what am I going to get? And the answer was nothing. He didn't really get a chance. But we're not playing, this is not a Yeti we're playing up front. We're not playing a £9 million youngster up front who's got so many senior appearances under his belt. We're playing a guy that was a semi-final Europa League last season, banging in goals, cost 45 million, one of our best paid players. He needs to step up a little bit. There's only so long we can excuse and say poor service. I've seen strikers in the Premier League era and across European football get poor service, but they still provide goals. They still do something in the game. They get one chance, bang, one goal. I just think today, if he was bullying the defence, which I don't think he did, but if he did it, he would have got more of the ball. I think the Yarmolenko and Snodgrass have been thinking, let's just keep pinging it at him because he's winning everything in there. Let's just keep bombing him forward with it. But it's a double-edged sword in a way because, well, catch-22 more should I say, because no one's getting close to him, so he's not got enough support. He's not getting the right balls in there. But I don't think he's doing enough. today against Sheff United, I don't think he's done enough. He just frustrates me a little bit. Sometimes when the ball's out wide, he's very static. He just stands still, thinking we'll cross it. Now I get why, because he's confident he'll beat the defender in there 1-on-1, just jumping for it. He's confident, but he's certainly not. He's not got a bit of Andy Carroll about him. Do you know when the ball goes wide? Andy Carroll used to be moving all over the shop. You used to see him just running, or he'd hold back and say, "Get it in, I'm running in here." Ali's almost already standing next to his defender, and I just want to see a bit more from him, Gonzo. I just want to see him step up and show why he's 45 million. Because those who have seen him in Germany know why he costs 45 million. But if a West Ham fan doesn't know about Ali, I wouldn't blame them for thinking he's okay, but he's not special, is he? Because he's not showing it enough yet. I would have liked to see more of that. Can I get your final words though, and your man of the match, please?
Yeah, I mean, just on that, I think if he was listening back, he actually does speak excellent English, doesn't he, Hello? I think he'd probably take you up on your point where you said, you've seen top strikers be out of games, they get one chance and then it's bang. I think Hello may well argue and say, well, he doesn't even get one chance.
But you've got to make it. You've got to make it for yourself sometimes. I think we had Snodgrass in the pitch today, who put in a couple of decent balls. But he's our best crosser in the club, would you say? Yarmolenko, again today, demonstrated he's willing to get cut back on his left and whip it in. And I just think if you're there, moving about, making space for yourself, you will get the crosses with those two on the pitch. And I don't know,
Well, I think the crosses did come in, and I think he was there. I just think he got out jumped by the defenders. And
so he needs to do more, whether it's movement or.
Well, maybe they would. Yeah, well, maybe I just think he is completely starved of service. I think it's so bad. I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves the club very, very quickly. That's how bad and frustrated I think he must be, particularly because people are not getting close to him. I mean, we'll see, because this is a draw today, as you say. It doesn't even paper over the cracks. It's you're just leaving the room for a week and you come back and the cracks are still in the wall. So because the points tally, our recent points tally is poor, very, very poor. You'd have to look at it, and if you were Sebastian there and think, well, actually, am I ever going to get chances within this team in this framework? You could forgive him for thinking no, he won't, and whilst I know what you're saying, for 45 million you want something special, and I wouldn't be surprised actually if someone came and nicked him. I don't mean nicked him, they'd have to pay the money, and they got him and he went elsewhere, and then you saw it, he got service and he did start banging in goals. In terms of the bigger, what can you say? It's a frustrating day, and it just seems like everything has to be forced. I'd like to take something from the game, and that's at the end where we did attack, but I don't feel it was ever the intention to do so. Circumstances forced us to try and attack at the end, but and I guess to a certain extent, Pellegrini will think his decision to play Snodgrass in particular was vindicated, because he just worked so hard that he did provide exactly what Pellegrini put him into the team for. But I can't quite get past the fact that if you strip away what Sheffield United did against Arsenal, and I think I was lucky in as much as I didn't see it. So when we were doing the preview, I was talking about Sheffield United. I wasn't sort of tainted by any of this. I was watching Soccer Saturday as well, just when I was setting up the laptop and everything for watching the game. And they read Pellegrini's comments out, and Pellegrini had said about Sheffield United, they're a sort of championship team, we've got to get ready for them. And Jeff Stelling turned around to Paul Merson and he said, it doesn't look like he's even watched Sheffield United. Do you think that's Sheffield United? And they were both saying, oh no, Sheffield United, they give and go, they do, they do tricks, and and their centre backs are really cultured, and they come out from the base. Started saying all this stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, that's not what I saw today. And I think with that in mind, if what we've done to stop the rot is to put out a team so as we don't lose to Sheffield United, it's just all wrong, because that wasn't a brilliant team today. That's a team a couple of seasons ago, Huddersfield rocked up at our stadium and they'd played very, very well. What's his name? Wagner? Was that his name?
Yeah.
David Wagner had turned up, they got promoted, they'd won their first few games, and I think, as I was at the stadium, and I think we stuck 3 past them. And I turned around and I said, I'm sorry, I don't see what all the fuss is about. And I thought that today. I'm not sure why they got all the respect. I'm not sure why we changed to try and make it more defensive. I just would have liked to have seen us gone out there today and actually torn into them. And I'm just, it's just a shame that circumstances forced us into an attacking position right at the end of the game when it was too late. As I say, stick another 10 minutes on the end of that game, we win it. But why has it even got to that stage? So I found it quite a frustrating day, really.
Sheffield United didn't play well today. I've seen them play better on more than one occasion this season than what they played today. Normally, O'Connell and Basham get up. The centre backs normally get forward and cause problems. I was worried about that actually. They had an off day, and that's even worse for us actually. Sheffield United weren't playing 10 out of 10, but still come away with the point. Whereas against Arsenal, they were 10 out of 10 at Goodison Park against Everton. I think they only had like one shot, believe it or not, the whole game, but they scored it, and then they just said, well, what are you going to do about it? And Everton said, well, nothing, 2-0 Sheffield United. But it's just a disappointing result in the end, actually. I think a lot of people will sort of maybe say, well, at least we didn't get beaten. That's true, but there's an opportunity there to get the 3 points, and it'd be interesting to hear from people at the game, because I always think your perspective of if the game and performance is boring or not is massively swayed, because at home you're warm, aren't you? You're warm, you're comfortable, you're watching it, whatever. You want the toilet, you can go away and be back in your seat in 30 seconds. You know, you can do all this and that. At the ground when it's pissing rain, cold and wet, and you might think you might not be happy with that performance. So it'll be interesting to hear from people that was there. But I don't think it's a great performance. I think there's some players that started today in the changes that might retain their shirt against Newcastle United on Saturday. Pellegrini's got a little bit of some decisions to make, but 5 changes did not equal 5-star West Ham, and it wasn't a masterstroke by Pellegrini. He's not whipped anything out of the bag that you think, wow, well that worked. He blew us all away, Pellegrini. I think our concerns before the game, while they didn't turn out to be as, should we say, punished as we thought they might do, they certainly weren't justified for Pellegrini either. I think it was very balanced. I think Pellegrini won a couple of the changes, and I think the concerns from the fans won a couple of the changes as well, actually. Everything's just a bit meh today. Everything's just a bit, ugh. If I imagine if you were at the game, you go home and someone says, how was the game? You'd go, we didn't lose, but it's not very exciting. It's not very exciting. And the concern for me actually is, apart from the last 5 minutes added on time, never did I think we're going to win this. Do you know, after when it was 1-1, never did I have a feeling of, you know what, we're still going to win this. Doesn't matter, we're going to go on and get a winner. I didn't feel like that until the last 5-10 minutes. I didn't really have any confidence. I didn't really have any gut feeling. And a couple of times Sheff United attacked, oh bloody hell, they're going to nick it here. And it's just still a bit concerning. But your man of match, please.
Declan Rice today. Yeah, I think he just picked Snodgrass maybe.
Well, Snodgrass is mine. That's why I never mentioned him earlier. I thought he was fantastic. He was all over the pitch. He was always trying to get a ball forward as well, which I liked about it. Every time he got the ball, he had his head up. There was a couple of times we've criticised Anderson for it. There's once in the first half, Yarmolenko made a really good run. If Snodgrass had picked him out, he was in, but he didn't. But I thought Snodgrass was tidy. He gave 100%. He worked really hard. He had various roles in the team. He started off, it looked like, in the number 10 role. Then he was centre mid. Then he was left mid. I thought he adapted really well. Every time he got the ball, he was looking to try and get a cross in and stuff. The set pieces were on the money as well. Our corners were looking good with him taking them. I thought Robert Snodgrass was man of the match today, and it's another sub. I can kind of understand why he done that sub, but this is what Bullets used to do. He used to take off a winger that was supplying a cross and put a second striker on. You think, well, hang on a minute, who's going to cross it to? And you just took the guy that's going to cross it off the pitch. You've just took the guy whipping them in. You know, Snodgrass needed someone else in the box to aim for, so you put him on the pitch, but you take the guy putting the crosses in, so now he's on the pitch needing someone to cross the ball into him. Pellegrini's substitutions, man, honestly, they frustrate the life out of me, confuse the life out of me, and I'm still none the wiser. So Snodgrass is man of the match, and Pellegrini's substitutions are what is my Saturday night frustration. But anyway, that's been Gonzo, I've been Geo, been Ham Utd. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think of the result, the performance and the game in the comments below. We'll be having a little read, and subscribe if you're around here. We'll be back next week with the Newcastle preview. We don't hang about till then. We've got plenty of other videos coming your way. Check out the program channel. There's 3 videos going up from Cantown Line, very different and very good. And also Avid's vlog went up last night as well, so check that out too. We'll see you in a bit. Thank you for joining us.